Hey, welcome back to Pumpkinmania here at Hematitehomestead. Man, I've been busy today. Got a lot of work out here to do. Work I've been procrastinating on. It's been so busy with piglets and the KCBS barbecue competition that we did. Spent a lot of time on that, trying to get ready for that. And pumpkins getting neglected a little bit, but it's time to put all that other stuff aside for a day and get busy out here. This episode is all about culling pumpkins. But before I do that, I've got a critical assignment that we got to complete. Let's take a look at that. All right, we're looking at the 1825 quality right here. It was a early season test plant. Had no intentions to put it in the patch, but it was doing so well in the pot, I didn't have the heart to cull it and put it in the compost. But you can see here, this area has been neglected. It's been really tough for me to keep weeds out of this over the last couple of years, so I got to get busy getting weeds out of here. All right, so there's what this looks like after I got done. Much better. Big time improvement. So let's talk about this plant real quick. This plant right here is the 1825 quality, and it was not supposed to be in the patch. And this guy ended up out here. It was one of my early test plants. It's older than anything else out here. Spent way too long in a pot. It grew it in a cup and then a smaller pot for a little while, and then I transferred it to an even bigger pot. I was just doing some germination and soil testing early in the year. Man, this thing was kicking in that pot. It was screaming, let me out of this pot. I don't want to finish off life in this pot. I didn't have the heart to put it in the compost, so I said, you know what the heck, let's put it out in the patch. So that's how it got out here. It's going to be very limited on real estate. I've got what I think will be a more promising plant beside it. It's going to need some of this space. So it's going to be really limited, and I just didn't have the heart to call it. Put it out here. I got this whole area cleaned up. The weeds down in this area just grow like crazy. I've got some garden fabric that I bought to make runways for main vines on all my plants, but in this area I should have enough. I'm going to do the whole thing because I just can't keep fighting weeds down here. I don't know why it grows way better down in this area than everywhere else, but you saw what it looked like, and it was quite a task to get it out. 2 wheelbarrows full of green stuff to put in my compost came out of here. I use this for a lot of it, but when I got around the borders of the plant, around the perimeter of the plant, I got down on my hands and knees and was pulling by hand. It's my understanding and my limited growing experience that the roots for this plant can stretch out 3 times what its footprint here looks like. So I didn't want to put this thing in the ground and risk damaging roots in the perimeter of the plant. So I got down on my hands and knees and pulled. I got some more weeding work to do in the rest of the garden, but I thought I was going to get to all that today. Probably going to have to get back on it tomorrow morning. I spent half the day doing just this. So I want to talk about culling pumpkins. So let me get my garden fabric down here and then we'll move on to that. There's that. All done. I do not like growing on fabric. I don't know why. I've never really done it, but just to me, the thought of being able to see my soil, see what's going on, is beneficial. But I think in this case, you saw what it looked like before I got all the weeds out of it. And this area is always like that. This is the same place I grew the 250 pounder last year off the 400 house. And I fought weeds all year long. So I think this is going to be better. So we'll see how it goes. I do have these plants on the side beside it. Again, 1825 is going to be cramped for space because I'm going to let this guy right here have all at once. And you'll see I am growing it on fabric. This is some of the paper machine dryer fabric and then some black garden fabric. And I still got some cleanup to do here before we go up here and talk more about this. This was basically just a big experiment for me, just to see if it was reasonable to grow on fabric. But I do like the way this looks. It's nice and pretty, that's for sure. So nice and clean looking. Makes the plant look way better. So we'll see. I'm gonna go back in here. I've done a little bit of vine bearing on that, but not a whole lot because I was planning on coming down here and doing this. And then I'll start setting these secondaries the direction I want them to go. Things are going really slow, y'all. This might be one of my most promising plants. I mean, we're in the first week of June, June 7th, and I thought I would be pollinating by now, but I'm not even close. And that's kind of got me a little bit discouraged. I don't know if I can get a 1,000-pounder now, but we'll keep trucking on the goal for the year, and that's to get one fruit to scale. But I don't know what's going on. It's been really cool. All week long, it's been in the 40s at night. That's crazy for June weather. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe everybody who organizes all these weigh-offs, maybe we should push all the weigh-offs into December. Maybe we'll have good weather then, right? So, it is what it is. I'm going to keep pushing and see what we can get. So, this plant you see right behind me right here, that's one I got really high hopes for. And again, I thought it would be way ahead of where it was. This time last year, on June 10th last year, I had the 1152 Caspers. No, it was the 1167 LaRue. Man, it was 20 feet long, 20 secondaries on it. This on this time, June 10th last year is when I pollinated that thing. And I'm not even close to that right now. So all I can do is keep trucking and then focus on getting one to scale. All right. I told you I wanted to talk about Culling plant, so let's go do that. All right, y'all. This is a gut-wrenching decision here. So we're going to talk about Culling. And so what I got right here is the 1633 Caspers, and beside it, the A72 Kazimor. So let me tell you the story. You already know I had some germination issues early in the season, and the 1633 was a plant that I started immediately when I noticed that I had problems. It's about 15 days older than the Kazimor. All right, so got them both out in the patch, and the Kazimor immediately took over like it was going to be the one to run the patch. And then Casper started doing some more work, and I'm really liking how it's going. But as soon as Casper started doing more work, now the Kazimor is chasing after it again. And I am getting more growth per day out of the Kazimor, so I can't grow both of these here. And unfortunately, I got to make a really tough call right here. I am getting some secondary development on both plants, more so on the Kazimor. So, which one's it going to be, y'all? This is the plant that I'm going all the way out on fabric. This is the experiment plant for me. 1633 Caspers on my right, A72 Kazimor. I made this decision weeks ago, and I've been following, trying to make sure it was the right one. But both these plants are doing decent. They're probably my best two in the patch so far. Everything else way behind. We're not even going to look at anything else today except for this guy right beside us. We'll look at in a minute. Kazimor has a way thicker main vine, bigger stump, thicker main vine. You probably see where I'm going with this. I really hate to do this, but I gotta make some changes, get things growing, focus on one thing or another. All right, there it is. Old Pete is going to move on to the compost pile. I really hate that for this plant. I wish I'd paired it with something else. I got two Chad new plants all the way up there on the end, and neither one of them are doing much at all. I don't really understand what's going on. Actually, one of them looked like something ate the growing tip off of it early after it came out of the heated hut. But its secondaries were doing better than what the other plant was doing. So I'm going to have to make a decision on which one of those to go with, but neither one of them are doing great. This would have been an awesome plant to have up there paired with one of those. Hey, Pete, if you're watching, I'm sorry, man. I really wanted to grow this thing. Not only that, I wanted to grow something that Richard Burdette gave me a couple years ago, and this is the last remaining plant in the patch this year that came from that box. So nothing out of that box this year. So take your tag. So I've done a little bit of vine bearing on the Cosmore. Now that I've 100% committed to the Cosmore, I'll do some more vine bearing today and start getting these secondaries going where I want them to go. You already know the 1825 quality is right over there, and it's going to interfere with secondary space on this, but this plant has priority. I'll see what I can do on the quality to give me some more room over there. All right, let's look at one more plant and then we're done for the day. And last plant we'll look at today, this is a 1675.5 Nelson. And I mean, it's doing okay, but not spectacular. Again, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's cooler temperatures or what. I did fight early in getting these things outside. I had an onslaught of cucumber beetles way earlier than I ever would have dreamed of having them. I got them all killed off with some 7, and then I treated the whole patch with some Talstar. And I have seen a few here and there, but not very many. I'll continue to monitor that. So this plant was paired up with itself. I had two 1675s here, and this was the one that was way ahead. I actually culled by accident. I had another one right over here, and it had like a J hook at the growing tip. And I mean, it was like a question mark, big around, and didn't look anything like anything else. And I pulled it up just ever so slightly to take a look at it and snapped it right off. So that made the decision easy on this, but this was the plant that was going to get chosen anyway. I do have a little crack down here, but I'm not worried about that right now. I'll continue to monitor it. I had a lot worse cracking than that last year than some plants that made it almost all year. And then I got the landing strip laid out for it. So that does it for this episode of Pumpkinmania Culling plants. Trying to get something going here, man. I don't know what in the world is going on. Maybe things will take off. We got another 4 or 5 days, nights in the 40s it looks like, but hopefully we'll get some nice temperatures and these things will just take off like rockets, and that's what I'm hoping for. Only thing I have pollinated right now is a field pumpkin over there on the other side. We're not going full with it. It's just a West Virginia State Fair project of mine. Not trying to grow records or nothing with that. No GPC, field pumpkins. Just trying to take something to the fair this year. Man, been super busy with the new piglets and with the KCBS Covington Cork and Pork that me and my son participated in. I was super busy with that. Those videos are starting to drop on YouTube. Make sure you're checking those out. Hit the subscribe button and see us compete in our very first ever barbecue cook-off. T-shirts. All right, Frank Pumpkin, still looking for your information, man. Email me, Hematitehomestead@gmail.com, or go to Facebook and look up Hematitehomestead and send us a private message. Send me your address, what size you want. I got larges and got that extra larges. Last video, there were only 2 comments on it. Guess what? I'm going to give 2 t-shirts. We'll give 2 t-shirts to both comments last video. So same thing. Email me at Hematitehomestead@gmail.com and shoot me your shipping information and I'll get them right out to you. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you comment and let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what you think about the slow growing. And man, I need some encouragement because June 7th and I'm getting discouraged already. And maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm expecting too much right now. I don't know. So, all right. Appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button. Check out all the things we're doing here at Hematitehomestead. We'll see you next time.